Organism and population population interactions are of mainly 6 types, which is namely predation, parasitism, commensalism, amensalism, mutualism, and competition. Predation. When we first hear the word predation, what comes to our mind is of lion and deers. But beside from being conducive for energy transfer to higher trophic level, predators also maintain specific species diversities and also check the prey population in control. An example of prey population control is of the prickly pear cactus, which was introduced in Australia in the year 1920 and which caused havoc by spreading into hectares of land. This was controlled by a cactus eating moth which was introduced. Biocontrol agents is used in agriculture due to the ability of predators to check the prey population under control. Next is species diversity. Predators help in species diversity. An example is of American Pacific Coast the starfish disaster, which is an important predator. In a field experiment, all the starfish were removed. 10 species of invertebrates became extinct within a year because of interspecific competition. But predators are prudent too. Why is that so? Because if a predator is too efficient and overexploits the prey might become extinct, and due to that, the predator might also become extinct because they have lost the food resource. Now, as a defense to these predators, organisms has evolved various adaptations. In animals, they have become camouflage, colored. They have become poisonous, and they have also become distasteful, as in case of monarch butterflies. In case of herbivores or plants, since they are immobile, they are more at the verge of getting attacked by predators. So as a measure, they have developed both morphological and chemical defenses. Morphological defense includes the production of thorns, as in case of acacia and cactus. Example, calotropis releases a chemical called cardiac glycosides, which is poisonous to grazers like cattle and goats. Hence, cattle and goats do not graze on calotropis. In fact, most of the substances we extract from plants like nicotine, caffeine, quinine, etc. are in fact produced as a defense by plants. Parasitism. In parasitism, one of the species is benefited while the other is harmed. Parasites are of two types: ectoparasites and endoparasites. Those parasites which feed on the external surface of host is known as ectoparasites, like lice, ticks, cuscuta. Cuscuta has evolved such that it does not have chlorophyll and derives nutrition from the host. Endoparasites are those parasites which live inside the human body, like in liver, kidney, red blood cells, etc. An example is of human liver fluke. Parasites have also evolved special adaptations like loss of unnecessary organs, presence of adhesive organs or suckers to cling onto the host, loss of digestive system, and high reproductive capacity. A trematode or human parasite, human liver fluke, needs two hosts, a snail and a fish, to survive. There is also another type of parasitism called brood parasitism. A classical example is of cuckoo bird and crow. Cuckoo bird lays its eggs on the nest of crow. In the nest of crow, the egg has been revolved such that it resembles the host's egg size and color to reduce chances of the host by detecting the foreign egg and ejecting them from the nest. Next we have competition. In competition, neither of the species is benefited. An example is of the Abingdon tortoise in Galapagos Islands. It became extinct within a decade after goats were introduced into the island due to the greater browsing efficiency of goats. So, competition by definition is a process in which the fitness of one species is significantly lowered in the presence of another species. In Cornell's elegant field experiments, it showed on the rocky sea coast of Scotland a large and competitively superior barnacle balanus dominated the intertidal area and excluded the smaller barnacle Catamalis from that zone. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle. It says that two closely related species competing for the same resource cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. However, this is true only if the resources are limiting. But recent studies and scientists also believe that this generalization is not correct, and according to the experiments by Mark Arthur, 5 closely related species of warblers are living on the same tree were able to avoid competition by mainly by resource partitioning. When two species compete for the same resource, they could avoid the competition by choosing, for instance, different time for feeding. Mutualism. Mutualism is that type of population interaction when both the species is benefited. A classic example is of lichens, which is symbiotic association between fungi and a photosynthetic algae, and mycorrhiza, which is a symbiotic relationship between fungi and the roots of higher plants. The fungi provides helps in absorbing nutrition to the plants. In turn, the plants provides energy yielding carbohydrates to the fungi. Another example is of the plant-animal relationship. Plants cannot pollinate without the help of animals. Two examples, one are of fig tree and wasp. The female wasp is provided with place to have oviposition or the place to lay eggs by the fig tree. In turn, the female wasp help in pollination of the fig tree. Another example is of a Mediterranean orchid called ophrys, which employs sexual deceit to get pollination done by a species of bee. Next, we have commensalism. Commensalism is that type of population interaction when one species is benefited but the other is neither benefited nor harmed. Examples include an orchid growing as an epiphyte on a mango tree, barnacles growing on the back of a whale, the cattle egret and grazing cattle. Grazing cattle flush out insects from the vegetation that otherwise might be difficult for the egrets to find and catch. Another example is of sea anemone that has stinging tentacles and the clownfish that live among them. The clownfish get protection, while the sea anemone is neither benefited nor harmed. To sum up, nature has included beautiful ways of interactions to control their population and increase their population. That's all for organisms and population. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching.